All right, welcome to the Fantasy Football MBAs. That stands for matchups, breakdowns, and analysis. And we are helping you graduate to fantasy football champion.
That's right. That's how you when you become a lift your balls up like that. Like look at these championship side ball. I don't know what that means.
Oh, man. It's your boy Z here, and I am joined by.
As always, T Campbell online.
Okay. My boy EJ, he could not make it for this particular episode, but don't worry because he will be in the next one. So what we're doing is our usual format. We are doing, this is week number 10, 11.
11. 11.
11. And this is part one. So me and EJ will do part two tomorrow. But right now, we're going to hit you guys with part one. And I'm going to go ahead and get it started, man.
Man, why not, bro? Let's get it started.
If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and get it started.
I do not mind.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get it started with the Eagles against the Cleveland Browns. This is kind of an ugly game here, you know. You got two offenses that are, there's a lot of uncertainty, especially when it comes to the passing game. If I could, in Cleveland, I definitely want to avoid the passing game altogether. Nick Chubb is back. They are all in the run game.
All in.
They are all in. So
that's all they got.
That's all they got. They don't have a choice. So I'm all in the run game too. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, those are the only guys I'm starting in Cleveland. I would start the Cleveland defense as well, but that's it. On the Philly side, man, I'm unsure. It's funny. I was just saying the other day, I was like, man, Carson Wentz, everything is coming, everything is starting to now go in his favor. You got receivers that are coming back, and then he just completely laid an egg against the Giants. So guess what?
Against a team that you would want to have a matchup if you're trying to get right yourself.
Absolutely. So now I can't trust them. It's over. I can't trust them for the rest of the year now. So,
right.
I mean, once you violate, man, like when you play against like certain matchups and you just lay a complete stinker,
that's right.
You're dead to me.
I mean, like if you can't get it done against the powder puff, the softball, come on, man. Like,
when can I trust you? When can I trust you?
So, and especially at this point of the fantasy season, man, we ain't got time to be playing around.
No time for no experimentation.
Right.
So, but one guy who I would play, so Miles Sanders is a go for me.
That's right.
But one guy who I would play in the passing game is Jalen Reagor, actually. I still don't know. I liked Fulgham going into last week.
Right.
But then, I mean, before Fulgham, he was literally the guy.
Right.
The only guy that you could pass it to. So with all these other guys coming back, now those targets have been tremendously reduced. I think they still want to see what they got with Jalen Reagor. That was their number one pick. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey, he's through, but they're still trying to do something with him. Dallas Goedert, you got the two tight ends going with Goddard and Richard Rodgers. So all of a sudden, and then Miles Sanders is back. At one point, Travis Fulgham was the only option. He's no longer the only option. I still think he's a talented receiver, but I'm going to fade him on this week. And I want to see if they still got love for him. And if so, then I'll put him back in the starting lineup. So
look at me trying to put on my chapstick masculine style.
So what you got?
Yeah, bro. Like, man. Like, this is how men put on chapstick.
You gotta be like,
yeah, bro. I kill people, then put on chapstick. You feel me? whatever that means. Yeah. I mean, yeah, dog. Like you said, last week, like if I was gonna roll the dice on the Philly offense, it was last week. All the matchups were there. This week is like, nah, you fool me twice, shame on me. Like,
Yeah.
But to that point, Fulgham, when he was the guy, he did what he needed to do. But now that there are, more offensive pieces in place, they're gonna force, distributing the ball and getting Sanders back involved. So he's not a go. But Rhaegar, if you just compare those two, then I would fade Fulgham, in favor of Rhaegar. So.
And he's a Targaryen. Rhaegar is a Targaryen, so
And there's
you
that.
got to start him. So
that's right. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
got a little dragon in him. You know what I mean?
Man. But moving on to the next game, and this one holds near and dear to both you and I. It is the Atlanta Falcons against the New Orleans Saints.
I ain't saying I'm from Atlanta or nothing, but I'm saying I'm from Atlanta. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you kick it off. Go ahead.
I feel you, man. This matchup, it feels a little different, obviously, with Drew Brees out. One thing that's surprising that may surprise people is that these two teams actually give up the least amount of points to the running backs. So the Falcons actually give the least amount of points to the running back, and the Saints give the second least amount of points to the running back this season. So with that being said, obviously you still start Kamara and you still start Todd Gurley. But
get all that. Don't get cute. Still start those boys.
Exactly. But I do want to set expectations especially with Gurley, you definitely, as usual, you're hoping
touchdown dependent.
Yeah, hoping he gets into the end zone. Kamara, they find so many ways to get the ball to him that you never have to worry about. And he's just unbelievable. So you never have to worry about him.
Yeah.
Now, what you do have to worry about is the New Orleans passing game. Jameis Winston looked really, really bad out there last week.
Yeah.
Now, Tampa Bay's defense is a lot better
than
the Falcons' defense. So I still expect him to get his points. I do expect Jameis Winston to be Jameis Winston, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he turned the ball over 3 times in the game. But
he's definitely going to try to do too much.
Yeah.
Looking at this is my way to prove to the NFL I'm still a starter in this league, just in case things, go different at the end of the season with the Saints. And the Falcons are very opportunistic defense. So he may get caught out there on the ledge a little bit.
Right, absolutely. But at the same time, I also expect him to throw 3 touchdowns in the game too.
That's Jameis.
I know. Yeah,
that's Quagmire.
Michael Thomas, you have to start him. You drafted him in the first round. You waited the whole season. Yeah, exactly. So you got to start him, and you got to hope that Jameis can get on the same page with him. Do you like any of these other receivers in New Orleans?
I like one, but I stopped short of calling him that. I call him Slash. Okay. I call him the Swiss Army knife. I call him the bigger Alvin Kamara, just his taller, bigger, as athletic brother in Taysom Hill. They seem to be finding ways to get him involved over the last couple of weeks. And this is the type of defense that will overcommit. We don't have a pass rush.
Right. Rivalry.
To say, and that's the only other person that I'm like, okay, they're going to get him involved some way, somehow.
Right.
I still haven't. I'm really surprised that they've kept the reins on him and haven't allowed him to throw.
Right.
Which makes it like this will be the week that he'll probably throw. Because. But I feel like they're like, going old school. Like, no, we're not going to show that. Until like playoffs.
That's true. And this is also a good team where you might want to try that with because the Falcons defense is so bad.
Yeah.
Passing
Yeah.
defense that, you know, I could totally see a play where they think they're going to run it and then it ends up being a 50-yard touchdown pass.
Right.
Folks, if you are in an ESPN league, Taysom Hill is listed as a tight end. So
Right.
if you are struggling at tight end, I mean, if you have Trey Burton as your tight end or
Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph, you know we love that. That's our prime example
Right.
of a trash tight end
Mm-hmm.
that you end up starting every week. You know,
Because you gotta.
if you have one of those guys, roll the dice. You're already rolling the dice as it is. So go ahead
And don't get, you know, just caught up in, you know, looking at him as just a tight end. He's a running back. He's he may just be the procuring calls in some way to get points on the board this week. So he may be catching, he may be running, he may be throwing.
Everything. I mean, all three. Yeah. So yeah, I would totally do that. On the other end of tight end, I would start Hayden Hurst as well. Hayden Hurst has been solid. He's been very consistent this year. Calvin Ridley sounds like we're still not sure if he's going to play or not. But I have a feeling either way, if he does play, he might be more of a decoy. So because of that, I mean, the last time the Falcons played, Hayden Hurst got about 9 targets in Calvin Ridley's absence. So he does stand to benefit from this injury. So I would roll with him too.
Yeah. Yep. And, you know, I like because the Saints haven't really given up a lot of rushing yards to the running back. I like Amadeus Zaccheaus on the Falcons side as well, because they're going to shade coverage to Julio Jones, especially if Calvin Ridley's out, or, you know, after about 2 or 3 series, you see he's a decoy. They're gonna be like, okay, you can't beat us with him, and they're gonna start. You know, it will open up Zaccheaus to get, you know, targets his way.
Yes, folks, Zaccheaus is the guy, not Justin Gage. A lot of people still think it's Justin Gage.
Russell Gage.
Russell Gage is definitely not Justin Gage.
Yeah, it's sure.
That's for sure. Because he's in the league no more. But Russell Gage, it's not him either.
It's not him. Neither one of the Gage boys.
Yeah,
not Russell, not Justin, not 12.
Not 12 Gage, none of them.
No.
Man. So yeah, and Zaccheaus might be a little sneaky DFS play too. So
absolutely.
But yeah, go ahead and what we got next on the docket?
All right, next we got the Steelers against Jacksonville. Steelers are playing at another level, folks. Obviously, they're still the only undefeated team in the league. And I feel like you know, they aren't just playing for playoff positioning and home field advantage. They're playing something historic here. Obviously, with Mike Tomlin being the most moving into the most winningest African-American coach in NFL history last week, surpassing Tony Dungy. I mean, there's a very prideful organization. They're playing for something, and they seem to have everything going. The defense is playing good enough. Offense is just rolling. This is a formidable team. All right. So with that being said, that defense is still pregnable. They can get the dick. No, I'm just playing. They can get it at the wide receiver position. So they've allowed nearly 200 yards in every game nearly for the last 4 games, and about 54% completion in the last game, 56% completion in the game before that. Now to the Cowboys. But they haven't given up a rushing touchdown in the last 2 contests. So that puts a lot of pressure on old James Robinson.
James Robinson.
Who's been money this year. I mean, I said it at the very beginning of the season. I said, look, the way they told Fournette to kick rocks, this rookie must be really impressive. And I told you guys to go all in on James Robinson. If you did, this is one of those guys we'll talk about it in our upcoming playoff episode, but James Robinson is one of those guys that you can plug, set it and forget it. But this week is going to be difficult sledding for him. He may still get enough points where he doesn't kill you, but this is not going to be a game where he's getting 80 something yards and 2 touchdowns, or it may just be receiving and some junk yardage. But I kind of feel like if you have another option at running back, I would not be mad at you for fading Robinson in this one game, only because I definitely feel Jacksonville is going to be playing catch up and they're going to have to abandon the run. He may only get back involved through the passing game. So he may, still be viable there, but I don't think it's going to happen on the ground. The Jags defense has been much maligned, but they've been pretty good against the run lately. Okay. They've only, over the last couple of games, they've running backs have 47 yards, 57 yards, 76 yards in the past 3 games, and only 1 rushing touchdown. But as always, they have allowed 5 touchdowns to the wide receiver. And guess what Pittsburgh has?
They got a lot.
They got a lot of wide receivers. I mean, everybody catch a pass. I thought I saw Cordell Stewart on the sideline last week stretching. Like, everybody is balling, man. So in this game, I'm looking for Big Ben, Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, especially down in Jacksonville. It is now reported that their first-round draft pick, C.J. Henderson, is out injured reserve. Big Ben is going to feast on the Jacksonville secondary in this game. He may have 4 throwing touchdowns in this game. And again, I'm going to just go ahead and say fade James Robinson this game because I feel like it's going to be too pass dependent and it's going to nullify his, ability on the ground.
I agree.
You got anything on it?
I agree with you 100%. I'm actually benching James Robinson, and I'm actually starting Carlos Hyde right now as we speak. So I decided to roll with him. I also have Chris Carson on that same team. So that's kind of my backup, and I think it's working out all right so far in the first half. But I'm fading him. This right here is the ultimate litmus test for James Robinson. He's beaten up on a lot of, middling defenses. And now we get to see him against an elite running defense.
Right.
And we'll really, really see if, maybe he's elite, I
mean, like if as he goes, so will the Jacksonville offense as well, because if he's able to be effective somehow, that will keep the Pittsburgh defense honest from, just playing the pass. If he's able to rip off a couple of, yards early in the game, it's going to keep them like, okay, maybe we should move some people into the box. And hopefully that might open up the passing game for him. But I don't know if I see that. But I mean, like you said, this will be a game. Let us know what kind of, but it'll also be a game that it's like you can't exactly judge if he's elite from this one offering, because Jacksonville is not a complete team on either side of the ball. Right. And if they get down, it's just the way of the beast that they're going to start throwing the ball around. But,
But if he balls out, like,
that's right,
you start him the rest of the year. Like,
that's right.
Automatically.
So I'll told. All right, moving on. We got the Titans against Baltimore. Listen, man. One thing to keep an eye on this week is AJ Brown did not practice as of this recording Thursday. If he doesn't go, that changes up things tremendously for Tennessee's offense. Adam Humphries is still in concussion protocol. Him is concussed, so that they're thin at the wide receiver position. The Ravens have only surrendered 4 touchdowns to the wide receiver position all year anyway. So they wouldn't need to have been at full strength plus the super soldier serum anyway at wide receiver, because the Ravens defense, like I said last week, I know they're number 1, but it's like it's the sneakiest, most unassuming first place defense that I can remember in recent recent memory, because it's like they don't overwhelm you on the highlight reels with 4 sacks, 3 interceptions in this game. It is just a complete team effort. They get a lot of pressure. On the offensive side of the ball in Baltimore, listen, they get a lot of yards on the ground, but they don't get a lot of touchdowns outside of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is their best running back, which is crazy. I mean, again, we talked about it. His woes this year. He isn't trash, but in comparison to what he was last year, he's that little bag of trash that you keep in behind your passenger side in the car. It's like, it ain't exactly a trash bag as much as an old CVS bag that you put, receipts and rum wrappers and straws in.
You might have some candy in there.
Like, it's like, is that super bubble? Get that last piece of super bubble out of it. I mean, so, he can still light it up when when everything is aligned. He's still very effective. He just has been trying to do so much on his own this year and is quick to take off, not reading through progressions and stuff like that. So, and that still may have to do with just, to be honest, no shade, as I insert shade to the Baltimore wide receivers. They just haven't been consistent enough. He doesn't have a true bona fide baller at wide receiver. Again, thought I saw Steve Smith warming up. Might not have been him, but
they might need.
Know.
Yeah, they might need.
They might. But yeah, so outside of Jackson, only Gus Edwards, who is, by the way, I think third string running back. He's the only back that has scored a touchdown since week 4.
Wow.
I know you damn lying. Wow. Really? Okay. Well, the Titans defense has been, they came into the season, like, okay, they vaulted. They're going to be back, and better. They signed Clowney. What's my man? Vic Beasley, they signed him for decent money and they let him walk with that money and told him, okay, thank you, goodbye. But the Titans are allowing about 82 yards and 4 rushing scores in the last 4 games, which is, there's a window there. So in this game, I'm looking for Gus Edwards. And I know those of you who are J.K. Dobbins owners or, Ingram owners, you never really know who's going to have the hot hand. But Edwards has been more, again, he's been the only one to get a touchdown since week 4. So, I mean, if I had to go with a running back, because Tennessee is somewhat vulnerable at running back, to the running back position, I will go with Edwards. Who I do like on the Tennessee side, since AJ Brown is gimpy or may not even suit up, is Corey Davis in this game, and Jonnu Smith, obviously, if Brown isn't a go. Jonnu Smith might, they just need to keep giving him opportunities, man. Yeah, it's like when given the opportunities, he looks the part. It's like
great.
Do you see this guy, man? Like, this is a tight end, bro. Like, this, get this guy the ball somehow, get him involved in the offense. I feel like because Derrick Henry has been so effective against every defense you put him up against, they're gonna run that guy's knees into the ground, man.
Oh yeah.
He's a very, very good running back. That has finally come into his own, but I've seen this movie before, and it's, that's why, players hold out for money. I'd be like, go get your money, young man, because they're going to run them knees off your legs, and, but anyway, you got anything on this one?
Man, I agree with you 100%, man. I think, like you said, the play action between Derrick Henry and the play action has been a highly efficient play action.
You got to.
Haven't really called upon Jonnu Smith, but I think this is a game where they need him. AJ Brown in question, Baltimore's tough defense. I think this is a game where I would definitely give him a
absolutely
game.
All right. So next up, we got the Patriots against Houston. Again, Cam Newton has proven that if he has a wide receiver, he can still play. All right. That's just how it goes. When he has poor wide receiver play, He, again, like Lamar Jackson, tried to do too much, too overly dependent on his legs. He's been way more effective running this year than throwing. High interceptions to touchdown ratio, but it hasn't been as bad as it could be, considering what New England has had from injury, from COVID, or whatever. I mean, it could have been worse. And it seems to be at least trending towards the positive now that he's getting some of his pieces going and getting some pieces back. It at least looks, maybe the New England front office will be a prisoner of the moment and say, well, at least the last couple of weeks, you've been okay. I don't know. I want the best from a man, ATLian, but I mean, this has been we knew going in this was going to be a difficult season with what they left on the shelf there in New England. But again, he hasn't had much wide receiver, not many wide receivers to throw to this year. So enter Jacoby Myers, who over the last 3 games has had 31 targets. So he is Cam Newton's new and favorite receiver and best friend. Houston doesn't offer much by way of pass rush, so I do like this matchup for Cam Newton. So give me some of that Newton and Myers. Kind of sounds like one of those personal injury attorneys. the law offices of Newton Myers. And then cue rap music.
Yeah, exactly.
Trap music, you know what I'm saying? But also the running game in New England. Okay, we may have somebody at running back that for the last 2-3 weeks, Harris looks like, he can be the guy. Obviously,
0 goal line carries.
Obviously, no Sony Michel there, so that he's not walking through the door. And even if he did, I don't know, man. Again, these coaches run these running back knees into the ground, and by the time they get into the league, these SEC running backs, they got a hot 3-year window on them. Yeah. And other than that, they just turn into goal line machines like Todd Gurley. But but yeah, man, Harris looks to be like, if he seems to be volume dependent though. And this is a game that New England should have possession. In terms of time, they should be fine. Again, Houston shouldn't be getting them off the field, in third downs and stuff. I think they'll be able to convert. So I do like Harris in this game. On the other side, the Texans, man, speaking of Harris, they've been getting killed by running backs this year. I mean, running backs are averaging 154 yards a game and 11 touchdowns so far. This is week 11. They got 11 touchdowns. So you can almost guarantee the law of averages say that who's never is at running back is going to get off this week. So I like Harris in this game. But they've also allowed a 300-yard passer out in 3 of the last 5 games because they just don't have a pass rush. So again, that bodes well for Cam Newton in this game. Newton and Myers, they can, but we're not going to go too hard on the Houston defense and not put a little shade on the Patriots, because the Patriots deep pass defense has also been toasted for 5 touchdowns over the last 2 games as well. So in this game, I like Newton, I like Jacoby Myers, I like Harris at running back, and I like my man Will Fuller. Shout out to my main man Will Fuller. I, for one, have been one who over the years have been like, man, if you ride with Fuller, you better use him as a flex and bring him in, bring him out, because he's gonna miss time in a season that has been a whole mess down in Houston. Will Fuller has been the one consistent thing that they could depend on, and as a fantasy owner, you can depend on. So shout out to Will Fuller, sir. You deserve every dollar you get. Hopefully, you actually land somewhere in the off season where your talents can be better utilized, because you've been balling, sir. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Keep rubbing that salve and the deer antler or whatever it is you're doing. Keep doing that. You got anything on this one?
No Brandon Cooks love. This is a revenge game, man.
Well, okay. So again, Brandon Cooks is a guy that I've owned probably 2 out of the last 3 seasons, and it's always been up and down. it looks like he's finally like healthy. And because of his past injuries, I've been, reluctant to like, believe in him. But it's this will be a game where the Patriots, there's no pass rush, so he may get an opportunity to get involved. The pass defense for the Patriots as well has been suspect. So I can give a little love to my main man
I'll roll
Cooks on
with him.
this in this game.
Yeah.
I can go for that.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I agree 100%. Yeah, man. Moving on.
All right. All right. Last we got Miami and Denver. All right. Miami's defense is trying to improve. I even saw some headlines talking about their pass rush. It's like, wow, okay, we're talking about Miami's defense now. They've been able to keep the running back position out of the end zone for the past 4 games, which is very good. And but what they have been suspect at is that they've given up touchdowns to the tight end position over games. So if Noah Fant in Denver, he is showing questionable, showing a little gimpy. But if he's a go, I like Fant in this game against the Miami defense. But on the other side, Denver, their pass defense, man, they shut the Raiders out last week. They were on point, man. They made Derek Carr look ridiculous. They made all of us look crazy who took any of the Raiders. They made us all look. It's like, where did this Denver pass defense come from? But again, if this is a more favorable matchup in this game, again, if Noah Fant is able to go, I like him in this matchup. In this game, I like what's my man? Let me see. KJ Ham in Denver, who has 20 targets over the last 2 games. Okay. That's significant.
That is very significant.
That's significant. You give me 20 targets in 2 games, I mean, it's bound to happen. You're an NFL receiver.
Right.
Also in this game, I like Jerry Jeudy. Miami's pass defense, is just okay for now. Their run defense is pretty strong, so I don't like any of the Denver running backs against them. But on the Miami side of the ball, I think this is a decent game for Tua Tagovailoa. And also, like, I had to look this up. Salvin Ahmed in Miami.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, we were talking Patrick Laird and who was gonna, Matt Breida was coming back. Like, who was gonna take over for Gaskins being out, and this guy just came out of nowhere and looks pretty daggone good. And Miami looks like they're believing in this guy to tote the load at running back. So
and they would reach Jordan Howard.
Right. Jordan. I had picked him up, stashed him on the bench, and was like, okay, we'll see if Tua can get things cooking down there. He may be a go.
Right.
Yeah, he was a goer, right?
Go.
And again, anytime a team feels so confident in another player that they let one just walk.
Yep.
That's a lot of confidence they have in that typically that younger guy. So if he should be available in most all leagues, guys. Salvin Ahmed.
Yep.
Mr. Ahmed, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your first name, sir. Let me go ahead and just fall on that sword. I think it's Salvin, but it could be something different. But I like you in this game, sir.
Let me ask you a question. This is an off the spot question, but nice mug, by the way. I like that mug. Would you play Ahmed or would you play James Robinson?
In this week is Ahmed.
This week. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. This week is not even, I mean, the Denver run defense, they've been the Raiders got 4 rushing touchdowns last week. I mean, shit. Give me 2.
Yeah.
Give me 1 and 93 yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot
because
there's a lot of people hurting that running back right now. So that's
right.
Listen, right now, pause this this podcast right now and go pick up a med right now.
That's right. Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin now.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So this is a guy, especially this week against against the Raiders last week. They just got towed up. So I'm looking for more of that. Even if he do half as good, he'll be just fine for you. But man, like I said, we've been teasing the playoff episode, guys.
Yes.
Is coming. Now we've had to do some adjusting, because every week you got COVID, you got injuries. So we've been back in the lab mixing and getting it all together. But the playoff team, again, what this is, these are the guys that you can ride them all the way through the playoffs. These are guys that are typically still available, or ones that you may have on your bench and you didn't play them and you went off on your bench. So these are the guys that you can plug in, and you got a couple of more teams that have buys this season. Plug them in, and these are the guys that can take you all the way through the playoffs. And that episode is upcoming.
Definitely. Also, I want to know, these are also players that, as the trade deadline is looming.
That's
these
right.
Guys that you can probably get. They're very attainable type players that have, may have a favorable schedule or a lot of opportunities. So definitely check it out. It is coming soon. I swear. I swear.
We swear it's coming. It's coming.
Moon and the stars and the sun.
Yeah, I mean,
there.
Yeah, but that's it, man. That's all I got this week.
Okay.
Guys, we really appreciate. We see the comments are coming in on YouTube. We see you guys are engaging on social media, man. Keep it going, and again, let us know, man. We are here for you. We ain't doing this just for us. Like in our fantasy life, we pretty good. We trying to help you guys, get to where you need to be.
Absolutely, and if I could say one thing. Also, this is part 1 of our week 11 starts at 6. Make sure to tune in for week 2 as well, and make sure to follow us on social media at Fantasy Football MBAs. We are on Twitter and we are on Instagram. I also want to say, when you do ask questions, go ahead, ask questions publicly. Don't be ashamed.
Right.
Sometimes we don't always check our DMs, and sometimes I'm checking the DM and somebody asked me, 2 days ago, who do I say?
30 minutes before kickoff.
And I'm like, damn, man. So if we don't follow you back or something like that, it doesn't go into, like another category of like DM requests.
That's right.
Usually, most of the time is spam.
That's right.
So we don't really look at it most of the time.
There's somebody trying to get me to do Forex. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But OnlyFans. One of them. It's one of those two.
Or both.
But right. Or both. But and not only that, but when you're asking that question and we're helping answer it, we're helping everybody out.
Absolutely.
Somebody may.
Because there may be other people who are thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, should I have started Wayne Gallman? Yes.
Yes,
Terrence, you should have.
Yeah.
You really should have.
Right. Yeah. Should I have dropped Jonathan Taylor 3 weeks ago? Yes, then you should have. So yeah, absolutely. But anyway, that wraps things up for us. And go Falcons. And I'll let you later. Peace.